Hey everybody, it's Syntegrator, and here we are. The NAMM show is done. It's finished.
Toast.
Yep, all the cables are they've been packed up, and a number of the contestants have already filed off to the airport.
Yep.
That's right.
Packed up all their cables like a big giant gig.
And taking their little golden trophies for the various awards they've won, or the giant raspberries they got for the ones they didn't.
Well, that was a very crazy weekend.
What a drama.
This is going to be the best part of the weekend for me right here.
That's right. Dave has not actually heard what his Kiwi-106 sounds like yet, and that's because we've both been so busy. Dave, what you been doing?
I've been taking pictures for keyboard, Instagramming them, and I've been working on a giant article about the show for keyboard.
So you can read that in Keyboard Player, Keyboard Magazine.
Just Keyboard Magazine.
That's right. Keyboard Magazine, so you know the one. And it'll be a great article all about the NAMM show, almost as if you were there.
The damn NAMM, exactly.
Is that what you're calling it?
Actually, I feel a little run down today, and my friend George said that he thinks I caught a little bit of a NAMthrax.
NAMthrax,
Yeah.
That's nice. That's what happens every year. We all catch this one thing from everybody else, and it's called NAMthrax. Okay, so here we are. Now, what we're looking at, let's have a look. I'm going to use the mouse here. This says brass, and you want to know why it says brass? It's because this is actually a factory patch. And when I say factory patch, I mean, I'm going to click on bank. It's actually group number 1, and these are the original Juno 106 patches converted to Kiwi-106 format.
Did you have to name all those yourself, or were they?
We looked up what they were actually called back in the day.
That's handy.
And then we typed them all in methodically, one by one, using the editor. So that's group 1 and that's group 2. And if you were saying, oh well, that sounds really exciting or whatever, it's not. And ultimately, these are basically they sound like a Juno 106. Dave?
That was way better than I was gonna get. Okay.
We're not ready for that one yet.
You're not ready for that. That's the advanced class.
When we have the right patch, then we definitely. If we could play Africa on this one, you know Africa?
Yeah.
There you are. That wasn't bad. That sounded fairly majestic.
That'll work.
Okay, but we're not actually going to listen to those. We're going to move over to what we call the Syntegrator sound set. Now, that's not loaded right now. I'm going to load it right now. I'm going to open the set. Open. Cool. File open. And I have something called Syntegrator, and I have Syntegrator 2. They're both. Well, let's go to the Syntegrator. Okay, so. Nope. We don't care about that. That was what was uploaded originally.
Gotcha.
Okay, now, if we go back and say, hey, that brass is still there, that's because Group 1 and Group 2 are the factories. So now we go to Group 3, which is the first of the Syntegrator tunes.
Wow.
Syntegrator tracks, and these have all been named in various strange ways.
Owlpad.
Owlpad. I'm going to leave that to Dave. Dave, will you do the honors?
It sounds owie and patty.
I
like
owie
it.
and patty. And of course, we can select patches just from the front
Just like
panel.
the old days when we would use real physical buttons.
Yes, it works. It works totally two-way. So
So when you were in an '80s cover band, once upon a time, you'd hear this a lot. A little aerosol for your mall hair. I like it. That'll come in handy.
yeah, well, it's a sound effect.
Basic ARP.
This is an
Basic. No, this is basic.
Basic ARP.
It's very bassy.
This is an ARP program.
Wow.
Now, the reason why that's so slow is because if you see here, it says half note. So in this one, we really should make it something more useful, like a quarter note, or maybe perhaps an eighth note. That's
kind of feel like breakdancing right now.
And the thing here is that we were dealing with a global tempo of 125, and that global tempo will apply all the way across the board, but we could set a program speed. So if we want something else, that's kind of useful. Dave, you want to try some other chord positions?
I don't know, it's very Tron-like already. Wow, I really like how the little keys are depressing and just kind of showing what's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Very cool.
And we can make it up, we can make it down, we can make it up, down. We can give it a random. then this is as played. As played means as you play.
So if I start on the bottom,
Yeah, the
down
note
here,
order
and
that
then-
you.
Nice.
Now
And
it's
you're
set to
covering-
3 octaves,
Yep.
right? So we could actually take it down to 1 octave. Now this is kind of cool. Because this is turned on, if we save this, and we're going to do that, we'll store it right now. This is now stored to basic ARP. If we step away, okay, this is bombs.
You dropped the bomb on me. I would stay up late into the night trying to program patches like this when I was 14 years old.
If we go back to number 1-3,
Well, you've got your thing in the order of... Nice.
those settings are preserved. And here's something else we could do. Yeah, because it was hold, that's nice, but the hold actually won't apply if there's no notes actually playing. So, all right, so we're moving along.
Nice.
It's called bounce back lead. And this is a unison legato patch
Yep, something I have not heard come out of this.
with a little bit of
ever.
portamento
I
applied.
used to have to do that little trick where I'd hit the poly 1 and 2 button at
and
the same time.
this is programmable.
Oh, you got that big old thing going. That's very moogie.
It's very moogie. Why don't we detune those voices?
Oh, okay.
Try it now.
Now you're... Wow! That makes all the difference, doesn't it?
That's the Juno 106, my friends, only it's been Kiwi-fied.
You can't do that in a real... in the original. Bouncy boy! Oh, I bet this would sound great with an arpeggiator.
I think. Why don't we do this? Let's make it let's use a sequence. Okay, so we're gonna choose quantum, and I'm gonna turn quantum on. Oh, and it's half note. That's not very interesting. 8th note. 16th note.
I'm assuming we're probably going to get into the whole arpeggiation editor later on.
Oh,
so you
yes.
can really see how that's going
We
on.
will. Here we go. Let's get this right. 1/8 note, 123 BPM. That's kind of a nice one. Okay, and that is a pattern. Sorry, that's a sequence called quantum, and it's basically going to load. If we save it like this, it's actually going to load every time we go in there. Let's actually edit that. And there she is.
Wow.
Okay, so
Painstaking amounts of work.
there's the red, which is track 1. There's the orange, which is track 2. And there's the yellow, which is track 3. And right now it sounds pretty machine-like, so I'm going to actually go in and add some velocity sensitivity to it, because we can do that. This engine is velocity sensitive. If the blue light that says fix is on, it means it's going to play at a fixed velocity. But if I just drag in here,
Wow.
and this is just the first note of the track, right? So these guys over here, I want them nice and loud. You see the way when I dragged that, it didn't actually apply a velocity to what was a rest? There's
Right.
a rest, it doesn't do that, right?
Pink is the rest. Yeah, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Incredible machine. That's an interface that I've never seen before.
No, this is the new Omicron user interface. This is the Omicron sequencer editor by Cycraft.
Wow.
Okay, let's just say done. And we won't worry about storing that. If you don't store it, it's not permanent. Let's move on.
That reminds me of the old days. I would work very hard on my patch, and then I'd accidentally hit one of these buttons here, and then I would just...
You'd lose your work.
There's no undo. Caustic Soup is a genius name, by the way. Sorry.
Woo-hoo.
Couldn't help
I got the secret. Under my skin. If only I had a working voice. And this is bubble bass.
Wow.
Bubba Bass uses a Syntegrator lick called 80s verse.
It's got a hard sync going on.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's just one unison voice, and it's just coming through these little Bluetooth speakers. It has a lot of authority. We're recording direct to Cubase, so what's going on, those stereo files going direct to Cubase, Sonar, are going to be exported to SoundCloud later on so you can hear them in their proper detail, but here it is just in the air.
Nice.
Yeah, I like this bass line. And let's go back. This is a
So
unison.
that has an automatic start, where as soon as you called up the patch, it starts.
That's right. You see the way the switch is on?
Yeah.
So with a sequence, if you do that, you set it on, it will automatically start.
As soon as you call
So that way when you load the patch, if it's set to, you don't have to do that. You can have it off, right? And then manually turn it on. And it will turn on if you send it a MIDI start command or MIDI stop command. So you can control it externally, or you can set it as a default. It's all part of the sophisticated system we added after Christmas time. So for those of you who are complaining about us not doing a sound demo earlier, it's because we were adding all this extra goodness. Oh!
Oh, Frankenstool.
I should have called it Frank and the Stool, but anyway, let's proceed.
I don't think that would be very popular.
This is for the guys who are rude to their girlfriend. Cheek slapper.
Cheek slapper. Nice. Uh-oh, cool thin strings. I'm going to let you do this one.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me see. Let me do my Neutronium theme.
Okay.
That's kind of a... I think this one works better with a... Like for a single line. It's not one of those multiple block of
Oh,
chords
I
ones.
thought this sounded really amazing.
The bottom end is nice, yeah. Nothing that matches these old analog circuits for doing that kind of stuff. They just have a big warbly warmth that you just don't find in anything that's... I mean, okay, maybe a really, really awesome VA that costs you $3,000.
Sure.
Like some of the ones we saw today.
You can
But
still interface with the sound the same way that you might have been able to do before, and it'll be represented up here, or maybe not. Like if you were to move this, it has the...
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It has, you could see the
Go ahead.
knob going up and down.
Total recall.
And plus, it's a very helpful thing because it shows the actual amount on the screen. That's cool. That's definitely a new thing.
That's a Kiwi Technics thing. That
That's
is
new.
Kiwi Technics saying, listen, when you edit, you're going to see the number value.
Wow.
And then that number value you see is on a scale of 0 to 100. But what's actually happening, let me show you this edit done with a mouse.
What do they do, 127 or whatever, 0?
No,
Some
it
weird
does.
thing.
It goes from 0 all the way up
Whoa.
to 4095. That is a 12-bit number for extreme high precision.
Wow.
So if you try and...
I think
you know
was
what? We
a lot
actually messed up
less.
the creeping giant. So let me just step away
Yes.
and we'll come back.
Step away from the creeping giant. That is just beauty sound. That's very nice. Wow.
Yeah, this was kind
That's
of...
a house shaker.
I thought it was a creeping giant because it was like...
Very Blade Runner-y. Me likey.
Let's keep going.
All
We
right.
got lots more.
Are we gonna show all of the sounds, or should we
Yeah,
leave it a surprise at all, or?
Let's... The Crystal Cavern.